Hi everybody and welcome to this introduction to JavaScript. As you're watching the video, don't forget to stay focused, pay attention, and don't be afraid to try out the things that you see in the videos. Let's get started.
Hi everybody, so far we've been looking at JavaScript and how to run some JavaScript code so that when our page is loading, the JavaScript code is the first thing that runs. And we're not going to load the page until we've dealt with the JavaScript program. That's how a web browser will process your web page. So we need to get through this JavaScript in order to let the page load. And if I load this page again, it's going to run the JavaScript again, which can be a little bit annoying and unnecessary. So what I'd like to do as an internet user is have web pages that allow me to choose when I want to run some JavaScript. Okay? The user should really have the option in many cases of when they want to interact with the web page. And what I mean by that is, wouldn't it be great if when I load a page, the page loads immediately, and then I can choose when I want to activate the JavaScript. Okay? So that's what we're going to be looking at in today's session. So here we have a web page. You might want to pause the video just for a moment so you can see everything that we've currently got in the page. So if you want to pause the video, pause it now. I am going to talk you through it briefly too. So as you can see, our web page, classic, it's got a head section. Inside the head section, there's a style section. And inside the style section, we are styling p tags. We then have our body section, which has some content. And then we have our script tags after the body. Okay? So I'm just going to hide the head section for a moment. And let's come into the body section first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a page which is going to ask someone for their name and put their name onto the page. So that's my plan. So part of the plan is using a button, and I'm just going to say click me. Okay, and when I click the button, I'm going to activate some JavaScript. So this is what I'm going to put into the button tag. I'm going to say onClick equals call some JavaScript. And the JavaScript that I'm going to call is a function which I am going to design. Let's call it, I'm going to call my function getName. That's what I'm going to call my function. Now this thing, getName, is a function. So I need these two round parentheses or brackets to tell the browser that this is a function. Now, at the moment, we haven't defined this function in the web page. So that's what we need to do now. So in my script tags, I'm going to design a new function called getName. Okay? And here is the start of the function code, and here is the end of the function code. And inside here, I'm just going to put a little comment, function code goes here. Okay? This is where I'm going to write my code for this function. Now my code for this function is going to be very easy. I'm going to create a variable called name. I'm going to assign some information to that variable using the prompt function. So hopefully you know what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to use document.getElement by id dot inner HTML will be assigned this variable name. Now, which element am I going to target in the body of my web page? I don't have one set up yet, so I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to use a p tag, an empty p tag. Let's give it an ID so that we can target it with JavaScript. What shall I call it? Any ideas? I'm going to call it your name. Okay, very creative. So this element has an ID, which is your name, and this is the element that we're going to target with the JavaScript. Document.get this element and push into the inside, into the inner HTML, which is this section here of the element. We're going to assign this thing called name. Okay, and that's what we're setting up here. Okay, so let's save that and let me go and refresh my web page, because this is the page I'm working on. Okay, so nothing's happened yet. The page has loaded. Welcome to JavaScript. Welcome to JavaScript. And there's a button. Click me. So there's the button. There is an empty p tag here. We can't see anything because there's nothing in the p tag. Nothing's happening. What we're doing now is we're just kind of waiting to click the button. And when we click the button, we're going to call this function. This is the function here. This code will run when we click the button, right? So let's just do that. What is your name? Okay. So I'm not sure why my p tags are so the text is very small and blue. Because I styled my p tags like this. Let's just make the font size of p tags a little bit bigger so that I can see better what's going on. Now, just before I finish, when I refresh the page, I'm not attacked by JavaScript immediately. The JavaScript runs when I click the button. Now the JavaScript runs. Okay? So that's an introduction to activating JavaScript by clicking a button.